Got to switch off my fridge, folks. It's got a mind of its own. Morning, ladies and gentlemen. Coming back to my story, it's been a couple of weeks since I left off. I was talking about, I was going to chat about my holiday going to South Africa. It's about July 2016. But before I get to my holiday, just a few things. I wanted to say that Rob and Craig, that have been dealing the drugs, or that if I wanted to dabble, the guys that I got drugs off. Now in this same year, when I decided to dabble to see if drugs had anything to do with the way people were treating me, Rob and Craig were AWOL now. I mean, I saw Rob, but he didn't have crack anymore, and his life was prospering. You know what I'm saying? I couldn't get a hold of Craig. He had disappeared, and these are the guys that have been selling rock for the last couple of years. And I've been bullied and treated like shit by everybody. I've been went to the homeless place, been treated like crap by the system. And these guys knew about my progress being denied. They're prospering in their lives. Now they've got no more drugs to sell me. They don't have gear anymore. Why not? And you know the people who do still have gear? The unemployed ones up the street. Pretty much the no-hopers with no jobs, no wives, no kids and no cars. They've still got the drugs. But now the guys with something to lose don't have drugs anymore. I'm just curious, why is that? And I got kicked to the street and treated like a piece of shit. And still getting treated like a piece of shit at this time. Because all of a sudden Rob had no drugs anymore. Craig's AWOL. Everybody's been watching you dealing with him for the last couple of years. How come I've been homeless, bullied and treated like shit, but you prospering in your life? And another thing with Rob, when I went to get the police clearance to go drive for Uber, because he's driving for Uber now, he was talking about doing a fucking armed robbery. He said that's the only time he's gotten into trouble and that kind of stuff. It was at a time in his life when things were shit. Now little did I know, he was fucking relaying what everybody else thought about me. It's like when he took me to the Turkish kitchen shop. He took me there because of a situation where Sarah Badawi told me about her and Errol one night. And she believed that he had raped her or something like that, right? That's why Rob took me to the Turkish kitchen. Now, little did I realize, when Rob was taking me to the police station for a police clearance, he's talking about armed robbery that he done. He was relaying to me, because everybody thinks I'm an armed robber that's involved in an armed robbery that my brother had done in 2007. That's what he was doing. This is on the way to the police station. This is the drug dealer telling me about fucking my life, taking me to the police station to get a police clearance. How does that work? All these messages Rob has been telling me, and 4 years earlier, prior to that, he was telling me about Deny My Progression. He put an album on my iPod called Denies Progression. This whole time he knew about the system denying my progression, but he's taken my money for drugs. And then he's leading me around. And he's basically been a fucking sarcastic prick. So he knew I wasn't going to get this police clearance. Or he knew I wasn't going to drive for Uber. Because he's telling me about an armed robbery that he thinks I'm guilty for and everybody else does. Can you believe that? How the fuck does he know my business? How does everybody know my business? It's not even true. It's not even true, man. So there's Mr. walking me into the fucking police station. He knows I'm not. That shit cost me $200 and $30 for that police clearance. And they all knew that I wasn't going to get it. But he's driving for Uber. How the hell are you driving for Uber when you've been selling drugs for the past 4 fucking years? That's what I'd like to know. And I've been homeless, kicked out on the streets like a bum, and bullied by everybody. And now you don't have any drugs to sell. It makes absolutely no sense to me. That means the system that knows you've been selling drugs has been looking after you, and they treat me like a piece of crap. How come the drug dealer prevails? And that time at my mum's house, in Bentley, yeah, when he came over in his Uber job, in his Uber car, he was talking about upskirts. And he was talking about upskirts in the car. And little did I know at this time, everybody thought I'm a pervert or something. That I go around looking at people's skirts or some bullshit like that, eh? That's absolute crap. That's what he was doing. He was sarcastically telling me that I'm a pervert. He wanted to see what I've got to say about it. He was talking about upskirts and taking photos of girls' skirts while they're in the taxi and all that shit. I just thought to myself, you're a dickhead. And I didn't question him about it. But he was actually doing that because he was trying to say that I'm a pervert. That's what they think I am. Because I had some stupid ass photos on my phone. Can you believe this cheeky motherfucker? He's talking about taking photos of girls upskirts. I mean, what a pig. You know, in the taxi and all that shit. And he's been talking about this stuff for years to me. If you read the earlier stories, you'd find out, to remember what I was saying about him and what he was telling me. I tried to get a disability pension while my hip was stuffed. This is from 2015. I tried to get a disability pension because I knew my hip was going to be stuffed for a year, and then I'm going to take another year to recover or more. So roughly I'll be out of work for 3 years, so I tried to get a disability pension, and I'm not sure if I was allowed to get a disability pension. They kept saying I could do 7 or 8 hours of work a fortnight and that kind of stuff, you know. But I want to find out if other people have got a disability pension when their hips have stuffed up and they've had to have a hip replacement. I want to find out if I was denied the disability pension just by being bullied by the system. So I want to find out if other people have got the disability pension due to having a hip replaced. Because I tried to get the disability pension, but just till my hip was better. So while I'm out of action for 2 to 3 years, I tried to get that pension, just till my hip's better and I can go back to work. And I also tried to get a disabled sticker that enables you to park closer to the shopping centres in the disabled bays. And I couldn't get one of those either. But everybody's walking in my way and bullying me, because apparently they think I'm a rapist, pervert and a pedophile. So I want to see if this is legit in the system, because the system's been bullying me. I tried to get a passport for South Africa before I left and do the forms, but the system was actually running me around. They were sending me to this place in Subiaco, then they sent me to a place in West Perth. And they kept making excuses because I realized that they don't want to give me a passport. A dual passport. Because they think I'm a criminal, a pervert, a rapist and an armed robber. So they had no intention of giving me a passport. But I'll get to that just now. So I just wanted to clear those things up before I go into my holiday for South Africa. My holiday to South Africa, which was a bad decision. Because I don't know. Because at this time in my life, I needed a place to rest, a place where I'm going to get love and warmth from people, you know. And I thought my family would be great. little did I know that my family are all aware, or have been, my family have been told about me that it's just a defamation of character case. The first time I went to South Africa, they thought I was a pervert. The second time now, when I went to South Africa again, they all thought I'm a pervert, a rapist and a pedophile. The way they were treating me. Anyway, I'll get to the story. I wanted to stay and work in South Africa for a year. Because my uncle Monty Elain, he's got his own company there. H Engineering. But that was never to be, because before I left, my mum and that, and I told her, so she speaks to her brothers and that in South Africa, they would have known that I wanted to stay and work there. But as far as they were concerned, I'm just some silly old prick that does drugs and is full of shit, basically. They had absolutely no intention of looking after me, basically. Anyway, I'll get to the story. My dad, my mother and Byron took me to the airport, yeah. I got 2 bags now to take. My mother wants to give her sisters some clothes in South Africa. And I've got my own bag to take. Hey, now my mother and brother and them, we're going to put my bags through the airport. And now there's a problem. One bag's heavier than the other, you know. This one's too heavy. Hey, and my mother and them are carrying on. Hey, what we gonna do, this and that. They're making a big hoo-ha, except they're doing this on purpose to annoy me and make me angry. I still can't believe people are doing this. They were making a big fucking fuss about the bags at the airport, you know. So I left them to fuss it out, because they're my bags, to see what they're gonna come up with. And they just kept fussing and fighting and arguing, and I said to them, well, why don't we just take some stuff out of one case and put it in the other and even the weight out? You know what I mean? Fucking they all carrying on like a bunch of monkeys, man. Oh. And I couldn't believe it. Now I know that's what they were doing. They were fucking bullying me on purpose. They were trying to make me anxious and trying to make my departure crap. I must be nervous and anxious and like everything must be a rush, you know. They were doing that on purpose, huh? This is my mother and them. All carrying on like a bunch of kids. And now I've got an aisle seat where everybody walks past in the plane. This is all done on purpose to annoy me by the system. The airports have been bullying me for the last this is 2016, huh? For the last 4 years, the airports have been bullying me. Every time I go to work, my electronic tickets don't work. So the system's been bullying me. The hierarchies of control at the government, the police, the Salvation Army, mental health system, everybody. So now they've orchestrated to get me a seat where everybody walks past. The aisle goes like that. So everybody walks past here. They don't walk straight, they walk left and right. And I'm in that seat right there. They done that on purpose. Ask them. There's a guy in the front of me now, and he's got a baby, and the baby's crying one way, this and that. People just wanted to make my trip hell. That's what they were doing. They done this on purpose so I can have a shit time, so I can have a shit experience. People are just treating me like crap. And I still didn't know what I've done at this time. Well, now I know it's because they think I'm all these. I'm even tired of saying it, a rapist, a fucking pig, a pervert and a pedophile. They all treating me accordingly and giving me shit service everywhere I go, making my life difficult and making my life a misery. My parents and that included. My brothers, they've been doing it for years, oppressing me, I didn't even know. So they done this on purpose. The guy with the crying baby, everybody walking past the aisle. Even the girls were treating me a little strange. because they think I'm a fucking pervert or something, or I look at them in certain ways. People treat me like this because they've been invading my privacy in my mother's house and they've been watching me. So everybody's treating me this way. Because you must remember, I haven't been in anybody's lives, really. I've been going to work and doing my own thing. So how come everybody's treating me in such a shit manner? It's defamation of character, obviously, an invasion of my privacy. Because if they're watching me and they're getting people to treat me in a bad way, you know what I'm saying? They're invading my privacy. I mean, how can you get everybody to treat me like a cunt? I'm not a cunt to nobody. I always treat people with respect wherever I go. Anyway, I got to the airport there in South Africa. I went to Pretoria first. Dion was going to pick me up. I waited for about 2 hours there. So I'm walking around. People are doing strange things. Some people look like Dion, some don't. Then I got a SIM card for my phone. Then I managed to get a hold of Dion. I called my mum, this and that, you know. He's making me wait now. This is, people are doing the waiting thing on purpose. He was making me wait on purpose. They're making me wait on purpose just to be a bit of an asshole. So I went to Pretoria there. I met Dion and his family. Celine, Danica and Kirtley. I just went walking around Pretoria by myself. I started working. I had my walking stick with me because I had my hip operation that year. So I just went to check out Pretoria. But then every time we went for a drive, there was a guy that lives under the bridge there. Homeless guy. He comes begging. Now this homeless guy that comes begging there, I think they were bullying me. Because I had just been homeless the year before that, the beginning of 2016 and the end of 2015. So they were basically bullying me about that, being homeless and that. You know what I'm saying? I mean, everything was to show me. Everything was for me. Everything's been orchestrated for me. They're basically bullying me about being homeless. Like this druggie up here that used to live next to my mum's house. Anyway, stayed in Pretoria for a week. Then I went down to Durban. Uncle Monty Elain and Uncle Birdy picked me up. Hey, it was swag because when I jumped in the car and I started talking to them, hey, Auntie Elain would start going or coughing like hey, they just been rude to me, you know, making me feel swag like a pig, making me feel like a pig and making me feel, what can I say? Making me feel embarrassed, you know. They're just ignoring me. They're disconnecting me from conversation and talking and everything. You know, or Auntie Elain or Uncle Birdy or Monty would sniff like so when I wanted to say something, or one of them will cough like when I wanted to talk, and then one of them would clear their throat like whenever I was going to say something, you know. Whenever I wanted to speak. That was pretty disappointing. And that's when I realized I made the wrong decision to go to South Africa. Because Pretoria was fine, but when I got to Durban, it was just that trip from the airport. When they picked me up back home, I was like, oh, this is swag. I came to the wrong place. I don't know how I didn't understand how they all treated me the same as everybody in Australia. Everybody in Australia is treating me like crap and a piece of shit. I went to South Africa, they treated me the same. This is my family now where I went for comfort. They treated me just as bad, you know. I went to Auntie Teresa's birthday the next day. I was sitting with Craig and this other owl at the table there, basically in front of everybody, you know. I think they could done this thing where they're trying to advertise me, you know what I'm saying? Because apparently now everybody there thinks I'm a piece of shit, basically. They think I'm a rude prick, they think I'm a rapist, they think I'm a dog, they think I'm a pedophile. You know, all my family's treating me like crap. They've got these ulterior, they've got a perspective of me that I don't know where they got it from. Because they all treating me like an idiot. You know what I'm saying? And I want to know why. I want to know why they all treating me like an idiot. And then I was sitting at the back room a lot of the time. The guys, Craig and Nick, was sitting in the back room watching the soccer on TV. I mean, I think